Hey guys, Nerdcules, and it's time for new comics.
All right, y'all, tons of super cool stuff this week. Starting off here, we got TMNT 145. This is the Eastman cover, which I think is just freaking awesome, right? We just have Donnie diving in there, just tying back to the Armageddon game and kind of everything that's happened in that arc over the last couple of years. And really culminating in this event that's going to be happening with issue 150. So very cool. Lots of time travel stuff and stuff with some new Turtles, new characters. But this is a great way to kind of jump in. If you haven't read Turtles in a while, this arc is just getting going and it's going to reset and kind of blow up everything in 5 issues here. So great time to jump on board. Next, we got Uncanny Spider-Man number 3. Did a rundown of issue number 1 a few weeks back, but loving Nightcrawler as the webhead. Very, very cool. We're checking out. Next, we got another awesome Disney 100 variant cover. I love this. You know, every time I see these, I just want these to be real comics, right? Come on, Marvel, do it for us. I want a Secret Wars with Spider Goofy and, you know, Captain Mickey Mouse and all this stuff. It's just so awesome. So anyway, this is probably my favorite one so far. Was used in the promos late last year. They released this image, so kind of been waiting all year for this one, and I cannot wait to get this graded and hung. I love this. Next, we got Amazing Spidey number 37, and I really love this cover here, right? We got Rep Rap over here and kind of mirroring Rhino, and Sandman's giant hand. I mean, this just really, I love it. It kind of harkens back to like McFarlane early 90s covers. Very cool vibe. Love it, and I love what they've been doing in Spider-Man. Next, I got White Widow. Now, I know this came out last week, but had to pick it up. Pretty excited about this, and just a great jumping on point if you're into Black Widow stuff and want to know more kind of in that world. Next, we got TMNT versus Street Fighter number 5. This is the final of this 5-part miniseries. Super fun, just wacky, off the wall. I've mentioned tons of these TMNT crossover titles, and this one is great. And so I would have loved if they kept running with it, but we'll see. It was so successful, they might have some more stuff down the pipeline. And last here, we have The Last Ronin number 1. This is obviously a comic that has been out for a while, but this week they did a special reprint of the number 1. So if you haven't been able to read it, definitely got to get on board. We'll take a look at it in a moment, but this is a great way to jump into this if you don't want to lay down all the money on the full trade paperback that came out a few months ago with all 5 issues. Looking at it here, there are a couple of minor differences just out the gates. The most noticeable would be in the binding, right? The first one kind of had the thicker kind of almost like book binding, and this is more reminiscent of an actual comic. But you can see it still has that giant size to it, right? Here, I'll overlay it that way. So much bigger, still the magazine size, which, you know, I have to admit, if they're going to reprint it, I would have been okay if they shrunk it down a little so that it fits in a comic book short or long box, right? But nevertheless, having it big means that you just get more of that art. So jumping in, if you know this story, you know that it centers around one of our Ninja Turtles who remains. The other 3 have perished, right? In this kind of over the last couple of years, as this kind of future New York has unfolded in the wake of some of these deaths. Now, I don't want to spoil too much, so I don't want to tell you who died or how they died, but needless to say, this story is absolutely incredible. There's a reason that it's getting turned into a movie. There's a reason that it not only was a smash hit with this 5-part series, but that it's also spun off already into several other kind of mini-series. So absolutely fantastic. Definitely worth checking out. The art is fun. It's kind of Turtles throughout. Very, very serious, and also has some nice firsts here, right? So we'll go a couple more pages, and we're going to see, I think it's in another page or two here. Well, it's okay. I'll give you an idea here. But without spoiling too much, we do end up, oh, there he is. All right. We end up getting the Shredder's grandson introduced into here. So if you haven't read it yet, a little bit of a spoiler, but nevertheless, it's his first appearance in here, so obviously going to be a huge character moving forward. We also kind of get a lot with lots of classic Turtles villains, so in many ways still connects it kind of to the old Turtles that you know, but moves it forward, right? Takes it into this kind of new era. And something that's important to note is that this story arc was actually kind of crafted by Eastman, nearly 30 years ago. Back when Turtles first began, this arc was really put together by Eastman and Laird. And they had an idea for how it was going to end and just kind of waited until the last few years to make it so. But nevertheless, definitely worth checking out. If you haven't read Last Ronin, this is a great jumping on point. You can grab it for cover price. And nevertheless, these kind of reprints, they always still hold a bit of value. So worth picking up for the collectible as well. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about The Last Ronin? The twists and turns, if you've read it, or if you're just getting into it, what do you think of issue number 1? Until next time, high five. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Oh yeah. Hercules.